Okay. In the first assessment, you're asked to interrelate biomechanics with the sports psychology. In this assessment, you will have to interrelate sports psychology with principles, methods of training. And there'll also be an interrelationship with goal setting there as well. So all these things here are going to interrelate. Alright? And your assessment is a combination of all these things. It's basically around identifying a fitness goal. And then how do you then go about working towards achieving that goal? And doing that's going to be an interrelationship between your self-efficacy, your beliefs that you have, your self-esteem as well, and the ability to actually do these principles and methods and understand these principles and methods of training as well. Now, you know from previous experience, you know from what we've done in term 1, all right, that your self-esteem and your esteem is your self-esteem is your feeling of worth, and your feeling of worth would have influenced your goal. The goal that you set yourself the other day was influenced by your self-esteem, your feeling of worth, and also your efficacy, or your beliefs that you have. You set a goal because you had a belief about yourself. You set a goal because you had a belief that you needed to improve this, that this wasn't up to scratch, that for whatever reason, you have this belief about yourself based on your previous experiences, based on what's happened in the past, based on what you see, what your belief is about yourself. And sometimes our beliefs are not true, are they? And sometimes our beliefs are not the reality. All right? But nonetheless, we always have beliefs about ourselves, and we have unhelpful beliefs too. And there's that great picture I showed you with that fat husband and the skinny good-looking woman, and they're both looking in the mirror, the wife. And the reflection back of the fat husband is a reflection back of a real muscly bodybuilder guy, and the skinny wife looks in the mirror, and her reflection back is this fat ugly thing. All right? And they're both looking in the mirror, and what they see is based on their beliefs and based on their self-esteem as well. And there's that other one I showed you with that lion. Sorry, not that lion, that cat. That little kitten, he's looking in the mirror. And his reflection back from the mirror is of this great big lion. And that little kitten is going to behave based on what he sees as belief about himself, isn't it? All right, so there's an interrelationship already. There's an interrelationship between your goal and your own self-esteem and your own self-efficacy. Now, another really important thing about this. Is there any questions on that so far? About the interrelationship between your goal that you set and your efficacy and your esteem? I think we've done that to death, haven't we? Right. Next interrelationship. Your ability to achieve your goal. Achievement of your goal is going to purely be based on your self-efficacy. Do you believe in yourself that you can achieve goals? Do you believe in yourself that you can actually do things? Have you got that mental capability to go about and stop at nothing until you achieve what you actually want to achieve? Because that's the definition of self-efficacy. People with high self-efficacy, they just get on with it. They just do it. They stop at nothing until they actually achieve what they want to achieve. And your self-efficacy will determine how big a goal you set yourself. It will also determine how then you go about and try and achieve that goal too. And some people will and some people don't. And if you think you can, you will. And if you think you can't, you won't. Now, the people with low self-efficacy, they will come up with excuses. Mark my words. Oh, I couldn't make it today because I slept in. Oh, I left my gear at home. I can't do it. I'm a little bit injured. I'm injured. I did this. I can't make it. Oh, I feel a little bit sick. I can't do this today. Oh, I need to get on my schoolwork, blah, blah, blah. They'll find every excuse they can to avoid trying to go about and achieve their fitness goal. But the people with really high efficacy, if they're a little bit sick, they'll just get on with it. If they've forgotten their gear, they'll run around before school trying to find some gear from someone. If they have other issues going on, then they just take care of those issues and make sure they get there. All right? And this relates to everything in life. No matter the most successful people around are the people that have high self-efficacy, that actually stop at nothing, have these goals. They set goals, usually high goals, and then they stop at nothing until they achieve them. And in terms of school, that's, you may have a goal of passing level 2 this year. And the people with high self-efficacy will stop at nothing until that's done. And they won't make excuses if they don't do it. They'll have setbacks along the way. Setbacks are common. People that fail the most are the ones that are most successful. The thing is how you deal with those failures, how you deal with those setbacks. Because a lot of people give up after setbacks. It's like when, oh, no, I won't put this on camera. No, I won't actually. I won't. I'll tell you the story, My son, who's 11 years old, he needs money. He's got a girlfriend, all right? And girlfriends cost money. We all know that, don't we, boys? Girlfriends cost money. You have to buy them things. You have to take them out for coffee. Things are, in his case, a hot chocolate. And so he needs money. And he said, Dad, I need money. I need to take her to the movies. I said, well, you better go get a job, hadn't you? And he said, no, I can't get a job. I said, yes, you can get a job. He said, you want money? I'm not giving you money. You've got a girlfriend. You start paying for yourself and things. And anyway, he said, well, how do I get a job? I said, well, how about this? How about you go around all the neighbours and you knock on their door and tell them you're going to mow their lawn for $10. All right? See what happens. He went round, he knocked on 2 doors, and both of them said no. And he came back home and said, "Nah, Dad, I can't get a job that way." They said no. I said, "Well, how many people did you ask?" He said, "I went to that person, that person." "Oh, so you went to 2 people. You had 2 setbacks, and then you gave up and said it's not working." He said, "No one wants to do it." I said, "How about you go to 20 people and knock on 20 doors, and then you see what happens?" "Oh, but they'll say no. They'll say no." How many times has that happened to us? That we have a setback, and then we say we can't do it. All right, and then we give up, don't we? But the successful people are the ones that have setbacks and they carry on until they get what they want. And in the end, my son's quite young and things, but in the end, I said, well, we'll do this together. And I had to sort of push him through what he had to do. But in the end, we went to about 10 people's house. He's got 2 lawns that he mows, and he mows them every 2 weeks. So he makes $20 every 2 weeks, which for an 11-year-old is quite good money and things. And he just mows the lawn and stuff. But it took a little bit of high efficacy and belief that he was going to get to that goal, which is what he needed, which was to earn money. Does that make sense? And that relates to you guys as well, because there's scenarios in your lives that absolutely match that in terms of your belief to make things happen. All right? Now, achieving your goal is going to be based on your belief. You'll have setbacks. Your self-talk is going to be key. Self-talk is going to be really key. Your self-talk when you come to PE, no one really likes working out. You stress your muscle, you overload it, it makes it hurt, you're in pain for a deal of time, because that's how you get the progression. And no one really likes that. No one likes pain. But your self-talk throughout that process is going to be a key to whether you achieve that goal. Are you going to be optimistic about that pain? I already sense Jordan is. Jordan's like, I like working out. Jordan's self-talk as he's going through that pain is understanding all the good things. What's going through Jordan's head is all the good things that happen as a result of that overload. But for some people, their self-talk will be pessimistic around that. All right? And that will directly relate to whether they achieve their goal. So self-talk must be optimistic. I can do this. Think of all the good things that will happen. And that's why in your goal I got you to list down all the good things that will happen if you achieve that goal. And so when you go to work out, hopefully you refer back to all those good things. And then you'll actually become optimistic in your self-talk, as opposed to pessimistic. Is there any questions on that? Okay, so self-talk is important. That goal setting is really important. All right, in terms of you, your self-efficacy, because if you have a goal, you'll understand the reasons why you're doing it. Accepting people's compliments, all right. Hopefully you'll get some adaptation to your body, and you need to now look out for people complimenting you on things, you know, and saying, oh, you're looking good, or, you know, you look handsome and stuff. When your nana or whatever says you're a handsome boy or whatever, and sometimes we just flog that off, or we don't take it in. But it's very important to take in compliments, because when you take in compliments, that lifts your efficacy and makes you more likely to achieve those goals. It's all about raising that efficacy. Your efficacy determines your success or your failure. Does that make sense? Now, in the next 2 paragraphs, you must discuss that. You must discuss your efficacy and how that links to your goal. You must discuss how to raise that efficacy. And you must discuss the self-talk. You must discuss being optimistic. You must discuss about setbacks and what to do when you encounter setbacks, and all that sort of psychology stuff and how it relates to you trying to achieve your fitness goal coming up. It all interrelates with principles and methods of training. This stuff here, all right, interrelates. Now, the next thing is that if you're really going to be successful, it's really important that you are also prepared to learn and prepared to learn and take in and understand principles and methods of training. Because you don't understand that, all right, you won't get the maximum benefit and achieve your goal. Whereas if you do understand the principles and methods of training, and one of you boys wrote something really good about that in your previous assessment, that when you were prepared to, and you came into class and you knew that you could learn this, and that actually lifted your efficacy up a little bit, all right, because because you came in knowing that you could learn this. And I think that's a key thing as well. But there's a range of different stuff you could discuss here. Questions about that? Right, I'm going to stop that.